Well, huge news out of D.C. New reporting in the Washington Post newspaper has lawmakers questioning the legality of a U.S. military strike in the Caribbean Sea last September. So the Post reports Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, quote unquote, gave a spoken order to kill the entire crew of a vessel that thought to be ferrying narcotics in these small boats in the Caribbean Sea. The first strike apparently didn't kill all of them. Two of the people in the boat were clinging to what was left of the boat. The report goes on to say, quote, when two survivors were detected, the military commander overseeing the operation directed another strike to comply with Pete Hegseth's order that no one be left alive. Doug, I'm sorry, I think I just gave your whole report.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the gist of it here. And, you know, there were legal questions about these strikes to begin with. That's really even a separate issue here. This question of a follow-on attack to take out the survivors, if it happened that way, many believe would qualify as a war crime, and then there's a question of who actually gave that order. The administration seems to be pointing at a flag officer who was overseeing this, you know, if that's the case, that individual could be held accountable, although the Secretary of War says that that he backs this officer. So we don't know, and you know there are all kinds of possible justifications here. On the other hand, if this was just a case of two survivors clinging to wreckage, that's a tough argument to make. Now, would they say that they had to do a further strike to eliminate the threat that these drugs posed and actually sink the craft, and the death of those two individuals was ancillary to that? We don't know, but there is an appetite here on Capitol Hill, a bipartisan appetite, to look into this to figure out what really happened.
And based on the backlash, I mean, the White House press secretary said that it was Hegseth, basically, came out and directly said that, who authorized it.
Well, I think they're kind of pointing to this flag officer that oversaw it. Is my understanding of it, that Hegseth gave the order to go after the craft, but that the second strike was another question. But this is something that certainly Congress is going to look into, it sounds like. Well,
yeah, but if the commander went without the secretary's permission, that would be something to look into as well. You're right. All right, Doug, we'll see you tomorrow. Are you getting any weather down there in D.C.?
When I came in this morning, it was cold and I think on the verge of rain, but I think there's a possibility that it's going to be, have some flurries out there, but I haven't looked out a window.
You're way too far south for any snow.
I'm not that far. I'm not that far south from you.
Well, listen.
Sue's saying no. There might...
What? Okay, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll have to tell you, Doug. We'll pass the message.